Yeah, I don't think anyone is going to be opposed to like the strict idea of having less crime here or anywhere else, right? That you can't really oppose that. But right, people who are opposed to it have said that they are against just the idea of Trump taking over D.C., a city again that voted 90% against Trump. Kind of leave us alone, let us handle our own affairs. But of course, the Constitution doesn't really allow for that, right?
Sure.
And then yeah, I feel like there's actually kind of this lurking under the surface immigration aspect to this. The whole Gestapo concentration camp comment that I got from a person on the street was really about that, right? Saying that they'd be afraid they'd be sent to Alligator Alcatraz or something like
Right.
that, because DC, I
I think
believe, has
there's
been.
now deportation depot is going to start in addition now.
I hadn't heard about that one. I
Alligator
heard about the
Alcatraz,
Speedway
yeah.
one in Indiana. Where's the depot? Is
I
that in
think it's
Atlanta where
also
Home
in
Depot
Florida,
is?
yeah.
Oh, okay, in Florida. Okay, hadn't heard about that one. But yeah, DC, I think had been a sanctuary city, so that's going to be over, right? I think there's going to be potentially some immigration enforcement stepped up. Either way, a lot of this right now to me is more politics for politics' sake, and we'll see how it goes as this kind of gets further along.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of DC locals are worried that it could potentially erode home rule. Constitutionally, the federal government has a lot of say over what happens in the district. But for the last 50 years or so,
Since
for the most
'73,
part,
yeah.
they've largely allowed it to be self-governing,
Yeah, well,
with some
that's
exceptions.
yeah, that's an interesting kind of larger trend, right? Where DC has been mostly allowed to run its own affairs since 1973, or I guess '74. Now Trump, he wants to see this in, is what he says. He says this has been a failed experiment. We want to totally take this over. Something Democrats oppose. They, of course, want DC to be a state. They want it to be.
Sure.
Wholly over in control over its own affairs. So there's definitely kind of lurking tension there as far as the fate of DC and what's going to happen here.
And